Hey, it's Longlegs, and I'm an RPG fraud. I mean it. My whole gaming life I've never played a Bethesda game. I did play about 30 hours of Starfield, but I'm pretty sure that was a rejected simulator to train NASA pilots that accidentally got on Steam. But RPGs are my favourite genre. But when I finally stepped out the sewers and explored this stunning remaster, I came to a very sobering realization. Every game I based my gaming identity on pretty much was influenced by Oblivion. I hadn't mastered the basics, people. A fraud. Listen, I don't want people to assume they can recommend me the latest Assassin's Creed and I'll actually rate it. I want people to recommend me Elder Scrolls 6 when it releases in 2069. So I'm starting my Bethesda pilgrimage with Oblivion. I had no idea what was in store for me, so if you want to have a front row seat to someone experiencing all the magic, glory, and jank of a Bethesda game for the very first time, we'll put on some blue suede shoes and a pair of underpants and nothing else because my armor keeps breaking, and join me as we enter the dreams of Patrick Stewart. This is the Oblivion Newbie experience. Now, I've heard good things about the original character creator, create some real funky looking specimens, but I'm going to go against the grain team and create the most perfectly symmetrical and even proportioned human being known to man. Brad Pitt. I'm gonna have to be precise and particular with these sliders. Nailed it. Brad sits down and just takes the abuse in jail. His good looks often warrant this kind of jealousy, so he meditates during the hate. I step outside from the sewers for the first time ever. Alright, I see what you guys are saying. This is beautiful. I see what RPG stands for now. Real pretty geometry. The morning after I decide to go for a morning run and immediately burst out laughing, third person Brad Pitt kinda runs like he's constantly just on the verge of falling over, or like he's doing a front crawl swim with his head down. Not optimal for land, super optimal for a YouTube video. I then meet a softly spoken man called Joffrey to hand over the Emperor's amulet he killed right before some damn conjurers came in whilst we're talking and start shooting fireworks all over the joint.
Hello.
The boys here were just taking a damn nap. This was my first taste of Oblivion jank chaos, and although stressed, was kind of loving it. Oblivion essentially telling me here, yeah, no one is sticking to the script in this game, mate. I meet another hostile welcome to my orc face in an inner game. This time it triggered me. I don't know what happened, but I sliced him down for his cold reception, tried to sleep in his bed as a power move, but got busted by a bunch of hack dirt brethren. I kill these guys who all look like a grown-up Donnie from the Wild Thornberries, and then slay his wife who's equally disgusted by me.
Stop talking! Enough! Watch out!
I feel I'm probably locking myself out of subquests here. I should probably stop playing this like I'm a racially charged Metal Gear Rising playthrough. So I don't know how to admit this, but I only just found out there's a jump button, and that it seems if I just merrily jump and skip about my business, it seems to increase my acrobatics level. So essentially I will be moving around like fucking Tigger from Winnie the Pooh now. This bandit had beef with me.
You move like a pregnant cow.
I was loving this wordplay, but when they just start saying that same one zinger but in different cadences.
You move like a pregnant cow. You move like a pregnant cow.
Making the NPCs just seem like victims of dementia. I mean, we do actually see victims of dementia, but that was after taking a lot of hallucinogenic drugs on a cold island. More on that later. I reach a town called Gavach as I need to find the time and law appropriately named son of the Emperor and apparent hero and savior of Tamriel, Martin. Later on I'm talking with some locals, but I can't stop laughing at Brad when people are talking seriously. He's just there smiling with his flappy lips. I then finally find Martin, who gives me Russell Crowe vibes with Sean Bean's voice. We help clean up Gavach. They all seem so optimistic they can bring it back, but the place is cooked. Martin realizes this secretly, I feel, and immediately abandons his people and joins me to climb a snowy mountain. Better than cleaning up Gavach. We meet up with Jaffrey, and he tells us we gotta scram and get Russell Crowe to safety from the Daedra. The boys go on a road trip. I'm actually excited at this point, traveling with the boys through the lush landscape. Problem is, I'm used to speeding off with my gang in Red Dead Redemption 2. Here, the boys are a little more nervous riders. We reach a temple housing the Blades, a faction I guess sworn to protect Russell Bean here. They asked me to join them. You know they wanted just an A-lister like Brad Pitt as an appealing face to their PR marketing campaigns. Suddenly I find Brad contemplating jumping off a bridge. I think all the orchism that he's been greeted with has finally hit him. Look, that guy isn't even stopping to talk him down. Brad decides that the people don't get to decide his fate and then decides to get wasted at a bar and cause some low-level mischief, kicking over all the ales while he does a merry dance in the bar. Sometimes heroes just need to unwind. Sometimes I just wish an NPC to be kind. I'm immediately faced with Ralsa asking for help. This leads us to Cyrodiil, a guy who's put together a group of dads basically. They want to hunt vampires, bless them. I think Cyrodiil's bodyguard, Silben, bailed me out when I later got arrested for drinking and stealing. I recognise his cool gold armour. However, although, while playing it cool...
Sylvan Dolovas, assistant and bodyguard to Cyrodiil. Let's leave it at that.
When talking to me, he clearly digged my no pants and blue suede shoes look as we passed the door and bam, he must have ditched the armour as we're now pants brothers.
Let's leave it at that.
I take a 12-hour nap at the inn as this woman who's helped me read these Mythic Dawn books we stole takes a whole day to read 7 pages, not filling me with confidence that she has the education to decipher this. Anyway, as soon as I wake, there is a woman staring at me. I mean, I guess Brad Pitt gets this, a lot to be fair. She hands me an invite to the Thieves Guild. Later I meet Snack Gra, another solid orc who manages the stables that you could argue is the NPC responsible for pushing microtransactions. I think she knows this and out of guilt gave me a free horse, the legend, or she assumed from my face that I'm just too R-worded to walk through Cyrodiil. She assumed correctly. I was worried about the desaturationification of the Unreal Engine. I was always preferred what I saw online on the OG Oblivion's environment, rather than the grey tones of Skyrim. But my fears were dulled when the northern lights hit that purple sky. It gave me that ultimate fancy immersion feeling I was after. See, Dragon Age Veilguards? This is how you tastefully use purple in your game. We returned the Dark Arts book back to Russell Crowe, who's now looking more like James McAvey in the light now. He's worried about the books, dark seductive lure. Perhaps we should leave the books to the hobbits, huh, Boromir? I mean, Sean Bean? I mean, Martin? Who? Where am I? I do actually love the lack of voice actors. Seeing the same voice interact with themselves is often a treat.
I understand he'll train people to cast illusions for a price. Really? So long. Take care. Morning.
And then wandered further up the Gerald Mountains and came across my first home, the Frostcrag Spire. It seems I need to refurbish the place, but it seems to be like a fortress of solitude for Brad. I got an underground vault as well. Some would say it's Brad's pit. Yep, unsubscribe, hit the dislike button, yep. For some reason my horse had enough and ran away from me as he clearly had an argument with a wisp. These glowing bastards then gave me some trouble at the Azure Spirit Shrine straight after too. This feisty wisp decides to attack everyone at the shrine while I'm talking to them and cleared the place out, killing off half the people there. Just straight up soft locked out of this quest by a will-o-wisp. Thanks. I restart from a save and I end up getting a statue to talk, and she basically wants me to become Blade and take out some vampires. And Wesley Snipes, was I not ready for these nocturnal sponges? I ended up only having a chance by luring them outside this cave, where I spent ages jumping manically around them, swiping at them slowly. Apparently there's a guy undercutting all the shops with his prices. We follow the shopkeeper in question, Foreigner, and basically watch him repeatedly chain chug an ale like a desperate alcoholic nursing his shakes.
Please, I'm very busy.
We follow him to his dodgy supplier that looks like Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age. I confront Foreigner about him using the cast of Thriller's wardrobe, and he's mortified. He tells me to find the supplier. I leave the shop, and right in front of me is a dead woman. Pretty damning evidence there. I take her clothes so I can sell to him later. I catch up with Josh Homme in the catacombs, aka Agamir, and he's got some nerdy guy in the golden dwarf armor here to bury me apparently as a threat. Trade wars here are full on mafia. I bury their confidence, kill them, and steal all their shiny toys. And a shovel apparently that took me half an hour to realize was integral to furthering the quest. I didn't dig this part. Flag my channel, copyright strike me down. I started to try and make my Fortress of Solitude, Frostcrag Spire. I read the book in the entrance and turns out it's some wizard that was basically getting pissed off with his colleagues, so he made an out-of-town office. The guy had invented remote working, ahead of his time. I go to take a nap on my new bed, but the game tells me I have some nightmare about a vampire, but then I realise I probably got bit fighting those vampires earlier. Looks like Brad will be reprising his role in Diary of a Vampire. I start the Thieves Guild quest, meeting first in a shady corner at midnight. It didn't start well. I found out I'm now a full-on fucking vampire when I tried to wake up a beggar for info on an initiation quest. I honestly thought the option feed was give her some damn food. I wake her up after beading on her and we are inside her head. A nice eyeball shot. Okay, I've invaded this woman's private space enough. You can't just lay your hands and teeth on any woman because you're an A-lister, Brad. I get the lead I need from her though, as who can resist that Hollywood smile? I was too late getting into this guy's house to steal his diary, so I have to follow and pickpocket the rival thief. Except she either disappears completely, or if I do see her, all the Imperial guards are instantly alerted. And even if I persevered and somehow pickpocketed her whilst the guards were on me, she didn't even have the damn diary on her for some reason. I give up on this quest for now in anger and decide to play Ghostbusters in a side quest to blow off steam. I wrap up the Necromancer hit job, go back to the inn to collect my reward, but then immediately everyone started fighting each other inside. Must have been some bad ale, and then they turned on me and killed me. I tried to collect my reward again, and the game just won't get out of the loading screen. I did not blow off any steam. I started to get really annoyed by this point, and when I get annoyed I like to continue doing the things that anger me further. So I tried the Thieves Guild quest again, but I happened to talk to a beggar again. I didn't buy it this time and noticed Mefredel's name as an option, and then bam, we're getting directions to her house. I can steal the book yet. It is past the race deadline, not sure why she still has it if you think about it, but I'll take it. It's here I start to realize the importance of interacting with locals for intel. I'm used to games where the NPC will just repeat the same line every time you talk to them, like a damn answering machine.
Stop right there, criminal scum. Nobody breaks the law on my watch.
I get back to the Order of Virtuous Blood quest. We're on the hunt for Roland, an apparent vampire. Thought this quest would be fun, as clearly I'm a vampire at this point after what I did to that poor beggar. Roland actually seems pretty sweet and tells me in fact to investigate the leader of the Virtuous Blood himself. First I gotta talk to this first edition store owner who's close with him. And that's when I discovered my favourite mechanic of the game. Fucking Persuade. Like, how does it work? It seems to be an exercise in revealing how emotionally unstable the inhabitants are.
Are you serious?
I end up just losing my shit and pressing whatever it will let me. Please tell me in the comments how this makes sense. Make it make sense. The bookstore owner Fintius isn't telling me shit, and after a lot of frustrating hitting a Persuade brick wall, I succumbed to Google and found it's probably either my reputation or personality stat. Yeah, so it turns out Brad's good looks aren't cutting through. Next, I got involved in the Knights of the Nine quest, where I'm helping ghosts who had me playing Ghostbusters until I came across a glitch where one of the ghosts I was meant to free got lost in this dungeon. Probably because all the dungeons look the same, but yeah, I ended up waiting around for this guy, but nothing. So I restarted, and luckily the ghost boys got reunited fully. Never have I googled so much for a game, and not for a walkthrough here. No, for a workaround to a glitch, and you know what? I had fun doing it. Going on forums and hearing others' accounts of the game, just fucking with them and seeing how they got round it. One guy in this particular situation I was in got an undead blade, the form before the ghost appears you kill him in, to follow him to the final room as his ghost kept getting lost like mine, and then kills the undead blade there so the ghost can actually find the room. Just genius how we all persevere through this madness and jank. And all that for a chess piece that's only worth 190 gold. Martin's got me hunting for fakes here. Just go to Turkey, mate. The counterfeits. It's full of scalpers and bare scalps. I love how the view is so spectacular stepping out from my room in Frostcrag Spire that Brad immediately goes, "Whoa." I'm with you, Brad. Whoa. Until I quickly realized that that was a cry of pain from Brad as the sunlight was killing us because we're a damn vampire. Then things got trippy. I went into her house, not gonna lie, with the intention of sucking the blood of whoever's in there. The woman was awake, however, and her husband has apparently gone missing. He's a painter and told me to look for him. I check out one of his paintings and suddenly we're in the painting. I love how so far I booted this game session up just to suck someone's blood so I could walk about in a day. I still haven't found any blood yet. I've joined a mage's guild and found some fourth wall bending paint. I'm starting to see how you can't play this game like a normal game, and I love it. Didn't love the reward. The guy just gives me an apron. Thanks, that'll be so useful when I'm making dinner for the kids tonight in the kitchen. Okay, getting a little greedy with the feeding. Maybe don't feed on a sleeping guard paddy in a room full of guards. I then try to rob a house only for the lady in there to immediately embroil me in rescuing her degenerate husband from some loan sharks, essentially. This feels like GTA 4 at this point. I talked to the loan shark, Orc Curden. He says he'll give us back his gambler addict called Aelron to us if we find his axe. Only for us to go find Aelron, where he explains to us we're actually the prey in a predator-style hunt. Whilst being hunted in this medieval battle royale, I started emitting bubbles. I just don't know at this point if it's an enchantment, glitch, or health issue. Either way, if I spread it enough, the bubbles stayed out my face. There's a workaround. I get outside and Curdan the Sly Orc kills Elrond anyway. He then thinks he stands a chance against my orc vampire hybrid swinging limbs, bless him.
Ha! You'll never take me.
I have to speak to Elrond's wife. The bad news, she already knew straight away from looking at my face, apparently.
I saw the grave look on your face. I knew something had happened to him.
The guards at Bravil are unpredictable.
Are you not feeling well? Hi. Good afternoon. It's all over, lawbreaker.
I tried to buy a horse from the Bravil stables, but couldn't afford the 1,000 gold asking price. Then I noticed in front of her on a table is an assortment of vintage wines and cheeses. Okay, so profit margins must be pretty good, huh? I knew what to do next. So this vampirism is becoming a problem. I nearly got stuck in a loop here. As soon as I destroyed an Oblivion gate, I had seconds before the sunlight killed Brad on arrival back into Tamriel. I took so many restarts to desperately trying to find a way to get back inside before I'm literally cooked. I just about made it to a nearby house, only to get arrested for trespassing. But this was good. The dark jail time was actually my savior. But then it got worse. The vampirism is really starting to affect how people treat me now.
Get back, you filthy beast! I'll have nothing to do with the likes of you!
People were even more disgusted by me than usual. It doesn't help I have low personality, low respect, naturally being an orc, low self-confidence from all that abuse, and a low-hanging bottom lip. I go exploring after being repeatedly insulted for my looks in Leyawiin. To be honest, just to get away from the verbal abuse. And I came across Deep Scorn Hollow. I make it my quest out of curiosity, and it directs me underwater to a tiny log that has a door in it. Now I know there's people that straight up want absolutely no UI or markers for ultimate immersion, but those people have probably played this 20 times already, or actually had the intelligence to complete Morrowind without a guide. Not me. I'm not built different. Without the mark here, I'd never find this door 100%. But even if I can't work something out, looking up a problem in this game online and then reading and interacting with a load of people in the same predicament feels actually part of the experience at this point. I love it. But I refrained from foruming this place as the marker got me in, and thank God, because I had probably the best case reward for entering this place for me. Upon reading the book in this place, it became clear on the last pages that perhaps this guy was a vampire and that this place could potentially cure me. And after splashing about in an underground pool like a retarded Dracula in armbands for a bit, I found out you can interact with this pillar and bam, it offers to cure me. But to be honest, the vampirism was getting in the way of Brad's exceptional good looks, even losing my hair. So I chose to cure myself and go to Turkey to get my hair back. Came across an invisible wall. Beyond there is apparently elsewhere. I know there's nothing actually rendered beyond what I can see, but I just really want to go there now. Did you ever feel this need as a kid? Playing my N64 games and peering into the distance on Hyrule Field, wondering what's beyond. This game gives me that feeling too, just the pure joy of exploration. I love that I'm feeling that childlike wonder of adventure again. I found a necklace that makes me walk on water. Look at Brad trying to moonwalk, instead looking like a drunk guy trying to fight, but his body is literally taking him home. I heard on the forums that the Dark Brotherhood quest is pretty rad, and to start this you just got to do some old-fashioned murder and then sleep straight after to show how much of a psychopath you are. I tried it on a lady at Water's Edge at her house, but damn it, she had some kind of plot armor, can only knock her unconscious with a massive sharp golden blade. She immediately comes to again and then rubs it in by ranting about the Dark Brotherhood to me. Livid! I then decided to finally complete my pilgrimage as part of the Knights of the Nine quest. As a reward, I was abolished of my sins. Handy as a few minutes ago I was trying to commit murder to join a cult. The knight from Monty Python, the Divine Crusader, greets me, looking a little low res, and I'm digging it. Apparently there's some relics to be found, like your Xbox 360 textures, mate. You know how I wanted to join the Dark Brotherhood but couldn't, as no one would actually agree to be murdered by me? Well, I took a nap at my Fortress of Solitude, Frostcrag Spire, a fortress of solitude that allows dark hooded men to come in whilst I sleep. Well, it seems maybe they took note of my efforts at least. Aspiring murderer +1. He wants Brad Pitt to do what Robin Williams should have done in Hook. Kill Rufio. We kill Rufio, who anticlimactically went down from one swipe of a dagger. Darth Sidious interrupts my sleep again to say I'm in the Dark Brotherhood. But then the game didn't want me celebrating too much, as it then tells me if I continue with this quest, then I won't be able to wear the relics I'm collecting from the pilgrimage quest. Everyone seems to be triggered by my actions. I can't win. This game was supposed to be an escape from reality. Algot the Northerner knows exactly what's up.
You're talking to Algot the Northerner. Guess you've got nothing better to do.
My man just casually summarizing the main gameplay loop of a Bethesda RPG. I got the Crusader boots by running from a bear a lot. I was told to respect nature. Don't know about that, but I have seen the Revenant. Next, I stopped by the Dark Brotherhood, get some sweet Sith-like robes, although the hood once again can't contain my jowls. Talking to the brothers is amusing as well. Their passion for murder is astounding. Gorgron here, boasting how he killed a 5-year-old girl at her own birthday party, but then you look into his eyes. They seem sad. I do a few contracts for Vicente, a vampire that seems to be hilariously bald or have long hair. Whenever he decides on the day, it seems. It's at this point I've basically made up my own Oblivion lore, and that lore is that the majority of Oblivion's inhabitants are just Joffrey role-playing different characters. Like he gets all dressed up as Vicente for my rival, but sometimes he's in such a rush if he gets to put on his wig. Another contract gave me a very satisfying target. Remember the guy just railing on my Hollywood looks in the prison while I sat there just taking it in the beginning?
Oh, but you must be the one orc weakling, huh? Captured by Imperials. How pathetic. You're going to die in here, orc.
Well, while I was sitting, I was visualizing this very moment, teabagging him Halo style. Last stop on this main quest was Skingrad. I was trying to find the Count, you know, to do the whole if only the Oblivion gate was closed routine. I couldn't find him, nowhere. Tried waiting all day. So then I went on a wild hunt for this elusive leader. Broke into his private quarters to find he was trapped behind his bedroom door.
I used to think you were a hero.
I'm starting to realise it's moments like this that are actually the real main quest lines in Bethesda games. I rescue a Tom Holland elf type called Urfor who seems real thankful for me for clearing his cave full of zombies, as well as the mage skills, as I did it for a recommendation for the Hogwarts. But the next time I speak with him...
I think you were a hero.
Welcome.
A
Please
holy
say your
knight and all
piece.
that. I guess I should have known better.
Why do I keep getting this? Is this because I joined the Dark Brotherhood? How does everyone know? But then even my comrades in the Dark Brotherhood expressed their disappointment in the same way.
It fills my heart with warmth to see you again, brother. I used to think you were a hero.
Is it just my face? What I love about the Dark Brotherhood though is they're so caring about each other and me. More than any other faction, I feel. Hilariously, whilst talking about a gruesome murder details, Vicente then eerily turns to me.
You are like a dark gift from the Night Mother herself. Please, tell me how I can help.
Whilst Antoinetta here is repeatedly stabbing this mannequin's groin with a knife. What a warm, loving scene. I came across a pretty funky looking island with a strange door. I'm sure this won't sidetrack me at all for 10 hours. This strange door is strange indeed. There's one cat guy being real shady.
Madness! Why? Why? Everything is wrong!
And a poor soldier just trying to control the situation. Stressed to the gills, you can tell, bless him.
How did I get this posting?
We first speak to Will Ferrell's dad and stepbrothers. He convinces us to enter this mad island. To be fair, I'm already in the UK, should be a breeze. And just like that, you see where all the budget has gone on the remaster. The biome of this place was like Dagobah and shrooms. I love it. I love the Oblivion's environments, but it was getting a little stale at the end, visiting the same areas. Sheldon, with his pink fluffy armor, is pretty sure of himself.
I amaze me.
We meet the gatekeeper's mum. Yep, you saw the size of him, that must have hurt, and she even says so. We literally said hello to her before this, and she gives us this conversation starter. The gatekeeper, I'm not gonna lie, freaks me out. Looks like a giant Deadpool on steroids. Not enough to fuck with him a little with some fireballs though. I finally get face to face with the madman himself, Sheergraph. I got a gut feeling this guy is trouble. Probably because he literally keeps telling me he has a thing for ripping out my gut.
I could just tear out your intestines and strangle you with them.
And yep, in case you're wondering, the locals here even talk to me like shit as well.
I used to think you were a hero, a holy knight and all that.
Like seriously, what have I done that has travelled even into this mystical realm so that everyone hates me here too? I meet a guy who's scared of walls. This town is just wasted of magic mushrooms. It's a real problem here. I'm of course then instructed by everyone involved to take drugs and then enter the sphinx of a tree. You know how we all do whenever drugs are taken. This is some weird DLC on some LSD. I start withdrawing almost instantly. I've clearly been sold shit drugs, but I persevere until I reach a room full of addicts immediately attacking me. I search one of their corpses after and find that they got more drugs and cheap wine. Absolute wreckheads. I did enjoy my time on Psilocybin Island, becoming a prince of manners, but I felt the need to finally wrap this game up. I'm noticing the enemies are crossing that barrier of becoming complete sponges now. I've maxed out my strength, endurance, and potentially fun here. So I thought it's time to meet up with Martin, the Russell Crowe impersonator, with Sean Bean's voice again. I do feel we could express a bit more urgency on the way, boys. It's the most uninspired, unsupportive hand clap from the locals. Thanks, guys. Testosterone is really flowing now. I love that in the main Oblivion gate, the door to the main Sigillum Sanguis, you know, that nerve center to the dangerous whole invasion, the source of their power, is protected by a simple picklock. Not even very hard saying. Don't worry, boys. The assault is ironclad, the fortress impenetrable, unless the hero Kvatch has a lockpick. Brad, you've turned off your targeting computer. Yeah, just need a locksmith for this one, boys. No X-Wing needed. It's time to apparently end this. I gotta fight the big bad, apparently. This, of course, calls for my best armor so far, and let me tell you, people, it was worth getting all this gear, as I look like an absolute moron. Russell Bean then opens the portal to a place called Paradise. I confront the big bad there, Mancor Cameron. Not gonna lie, probably the most anticlimactic end boss battle ever. After giving me a monologue, I did get right in his face, so you can see my saliva on my flappy Hollywood jowls. We do one last siege after Russell Crowe gets appointed as Emperor. He's straight on the job as expected. What wasn't expected is that he turns into a goddamn light dragon and kills Giga Satan in front of me. It was like watching two Megazords in front of me from Power Rangers. I was loving it. And so unexpected in scale, considering everything up to that point has literally been in your face. Then as I watch, I start to ponder, why aren't I doing this fight? So all this was for Russell Sean the Bean Crow Septim to be the damn hero? So we're literally a side character. So after all that, the tens of hours of commitment protecting Tamriel, the errands for the Septims, abolishing my sins with the Knights of the Nine, and taking drugs for the entertainment of a mad Scotsman, the High Chancellor makes me champion side character of Cyrodiil. Now, finally Brad can walk around and receive the kindness he deserves for saving the land.
Look, a fly. Buzz, buzz.